I'm going to tell you exactly how I became a millionaire. This is a question that I've gotten a lot. What exactly was it that got me to that millionaire and multi-millionaire status? If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to the Bulldog mindset. If that sounds like something that you are interested in, click that subscribe button. Join us on the quest. Click the bell to get notifications so you don't miss any of the videos that come out. And make sure that you take the Bulldog Quiz if you haven't already. It's up here in the corner. It'll just take you like 5 minutes to figure out what your Bulldog score is. Figure out if you are an alpha male. This is a pretty good indicator. If you got a high score there, you got a pretty good indicator of being one of those top 5% men. There's also a link in the description as well. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into this question. I'm gonna tell you exactly, how this came about. How did I become a multi-millionaire? He says here, "Hi, John, I really appreciate your time and sharing your path with wins and mistakes exposed. From what I know, following you, your first million came from 3 main streams of income: real estate, PluralSight, and a 40-hour contract job. Can you break it down into percentages? How much came from each stream? How much income with 40-hour contract job? Were you generating so retiring was a safe/right decision? You made me reconsider my attitude to real estate. It always looked to me as a low barrier entrance business where people come in because they can't do IT, law, doctor job, or something high paying. You had a successful career in IT, writing technical courses. Looks like a win-win business. If you don't make anything out of a course, you at least become an expert and promote your personal brand in IT, securing your future higher rates." Very true. All right. I was surprised to hear a few streams ago that real estate made you a millionaire and not those 55 PluralSight courses. And if you could go back to your 20s, you'd start with real estate. So I guess not even bothering to code. Another issue I had with real estate or anything else really is switching your focus from IT specialization, contract/job courses to something unrelated. You have so many hours in a day. If you do real estate, you don't do coding. Please let me know your 2020 thoughts on this. Respectfully, Gene. All right, so Gene, here's what is up, my man. So let's talk about this. All right, so how did I become a millionaire? Like at least my first million. So let's look at what I did, okay? So the first thing that I had going on was my regular job, and I had a 6-figure income, so I was saving a lot of money from that. But if you run that forward, you know that even if you're making, let's say, $150,000 a year, and you're able to save, let's say you're able to save $100,000 a year, it would take you 10 years of just saving money to become a millionaire, and you've got inflation, right? And this is something that I kind of figured out when I was 19, when I first got a really good paying job at $75 an hour. I was like, okay, I'm actually not going to get rich from this. Okay. I thought I was rich. I was not rich. I wasn't even close. And when you calculate all the expenses and everything and taxes, it's like a 14, 15 year journey, and you can put your money into an index fund and whatnot, but there's dips in there and you got to pay taxes on the gains, and it could accelerate things slightly, but the way that compounding works, and people don't understand compound interest, okay? This is like one of the biggest mistakes that people make. And I have a lesson here in Bulldog Mindset membership. Guys, if you haven't joined already, $7, go sign up for the trial and try it out. Believe me, you're going to find some huge value in there. But I've got a lesson in the Bulldog Mindset membership where I talk about this idea of compound interest and really of how it works. So in that video, what I talk about is that you have essentially the rate of return, the interest rate, okay? You have the amount of time, and then you have the amount of initial money that you start with, okay? And what you have to have is 2 of those 3 things in order to really become wealthy, for it to be worth it to you, okay? Most of you're starting out with compound interest, and you don't have a lot of money, okay? You're starting with like $10,000, okay? Even $100,000. Not a lot, not enough to really benefit from compound interest, honestly, okay? You're starting with a low rate of return, like, I don't know, I mean, what do you get in S&P 500? Best case scenario, 7%, 8%? Some people say 9%. I don't think so. But let's say I'll give you a benefit of the doubt and say 7 or 8%, okay? But you're going to pay taxes on that, so, your adjusted rate of return is much less, and you consider inflation, and, if you're hitting 6, I'd be pretty surprised, okay? And, remember, any kind of dip of 30% can knock you out, but let's say that you're getting a steady 6, okay? Then you've got time. All right. In time, okay, this is the one. It's like in 10 years, you're not going to be rich. You're not going to make $1 million. Okay. In 10 years, if you have 100 years okay, you don't even need a very high interest rate. You don't even need a lot of money. You're just going to make compounding interest over 100 years. Fucking brilliant. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Okay, that's why generational wealth is so powerful. That's why a lot of rich families throughout the old money, that's why it's so powerful. It's because it's compounding interest over hundreds of years. Okay, so most of you are starting out with not a lot of time, not a lot of money, and not a lot of interest rate. Okay, and that's why compounding doesn't work for you. Right, and so going back to the thread that I was initially talking about with my job, I was making some money from my job, and it was good money, but it was not the kind of money that was ever going to make me wealthy or rich, and really didn't contribute to me becoming a millionaire directly in terms of dollars. Now, where it did contribute was that I spent a lot of that money on education and investing in real estate. Okay. And even, I would say some degrees starting up a business, but that's not really true because it didn't really cost me anything to start up my business. Okay. So I took a lot of that money that I was making, and I recommend that you guys do this, is invest in yourself. Okay. I wish I would have invested in coaching. I didn't. I learned things the hard way. Okay. That's why I offer coaching now, because I can help you to not waste time. All right. But, I didn't know. I didn't do that. Again, the Bulldog Mindset membership, that's a good way, okay, to invest in yourself. All right. I bought online courses. I went to seminars, went to training, right? I paid for so many books, bought so many books. Okay. Anyway, so that's how I use that money. And then comes the real estate part. Okay. So now we look at the real estate, and I invested in real estate, and the real estate is still the slow lane, right? So I recommend that you guys read, if you haven't already, The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. I got my signed copy here from the man himself. All right. I've got an interview with him on the channel as well, if you want to check that out. But real estate is still the slow lane. I didn't know it at the time. I knew that in 30 years I would become wealthy, or 20 years perhaps. And so that was kind of the plan, was to kind of just become a millionaire in 15, 20 years, something like that. And that'd be cool. So I started investing a lot in real estate. Okay. But I was still missing one element here. What I was missing was basically an accelerant for the fire. Okay. I had a fire going. It was good. It was going to, warm up the place, and, that fire was burning, but I needed an accelerant. So what was the accelerant? The accelerant was business. Okay. It was making money, making a lot of money. All right. So that's where I started doing some PluralSight courses, right? For PluralSight, before they canceled me, burned my ass. Okay. But here's the deal. Okay. So I made those courses. All right. And I started making some passive income from that. Not really passive income, right? It was kind of passive income because I made the courses, I got paid for the courses, and I got checks from them, royalty checks. All right. And so I'm getting that money. Okay. And I'm getting a pretty good amount of money. At some point, right, where I quit my job was when I was doing the PluralSight courses. And I started Simple Program at the time. So I had the blog going, and I was making a little bit of money, not a lot, maybe $1,000 a month. Okay. Paying for the server costs and whatnot, a little bit of my rent or mortgage payment. Okay. But I did the PluralSight courses, and I got to this point where the PluralSight courses were, I think I got a check at one point for like $30,000 for the quarter. Okay. For a 3-month period on courses I had already created. And that's where I went to my boss and I was like, hey, I quit. I'm done. I'm just working on PluralSight courses because this is the smart thing to do. And so I eventually, end up doing 55 courses. And over the course of like 10 years, I guess it's been 10 years, PluralSight's paid me something like $3 million. I say they paid me, but I got royalties from my courses, from my 55 courses of $3 million. So that's one way I became a millionaire, but that wasn't like the first way, right? It was like part of it. Okay. So a lot of that money, what ended up happening was I used that as an accelerant, and I poured some fuel on the fire of my real estate investments. Okay. And that accelerated the growth because I was able to buy properties, buy more properties, make some money from them. And then I also started to figure out, okay, well, if I want to retire, what do I need to retire? Like how much income? And I came down to the figure of around $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month. Okay, if I was getting that from real estate as passive income, I'm effectively retired. I can pay all my bills and I'm fine. Okay. And so what I started doing was paying down some of the properties, actually paying off the mortgages. Not the best idea in terms of like increasing your wealth as much as possible, but I was like, okay, well, I want to retire. I'm done. All right. Little did I know. Okay. That was my naivety at that point because I didn't realize what I was actually going to want to do in life, which was continue to kick ass and build businesses and make money and not not ever like sip Mai Tais on the beach. It seemed like a good life. It's not. Okay, I've got a video on that. Check it out here. How I retired at like 33 and it sucked. Okay, you should watch that video. Honestly, you should. If you think that your life is going to be great when you retire. It's not. Okay, so long story short, what ended up happening was that I took that money, bought real estate with it, paid off some real estate, got to the point where I was making even more money from the PluralSight courses because I'd quit my job, right? That was a strategic move in order to make more PluralSight courses full time and also work on my business. At that point now, I'm working on Simple Programmer. I'm making blog posts every week. I'm starting to hire a team. I am making YouTube videos. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm selling a course on Simple Programmer. That's making some money. So now, my income is coming in and I'm making like, $400,000, $500,000, then $600,000 a year of income. It's really easy to become a millionaire when you're making $600,000 a year of income. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And so a lot of that came from a combination of things, right? So this is why it's really hard. And you might be like, John, you're not just straightforward answering the question, because the reason why I'm not doing it is because there's so many pieces to it, right? Is it the job? Well, part of the job thing contributed to it in some ways by paying for my education, educating myself, and then investing in the initial real estate, which made a lot of money, right? Because a lot of that initial real estate, when I first started investing in real estate, over the course of 5 to 10 years, that made me several $100,000, okay, of just profit from that real estate, all right? And then you look at the PluralSight courses. That made a lot of money. At first, it didn't make as much money, though. And I used that money to invest in real estate, which helped make more money. So the real estate was like this vehicle for multiplying the money and being able to do it passively, right? So that's the key here is like I could work at a job and I can make a lot of money working at a job, but I have to be there. Whereas if I work at a job and I get the money and I work at let's say making PluralSight courses and I get the money, I get that, and then I put that into real estate, then that money keeps on working for me and making more money, okay, while I'm going and doing other things. And so that was kind of the strategy. It's like, you get this one going, this plate spinning, and then you move on and you grab the next plate and you get that plate spinning, and then you got 2 plates spinning, right? And then you keep on doing that, okay, and you're benefiting from these plates that are spinning over here, okay, to use an analogy that usually is used in the dating world, okay? And they keep on spinning while you're grabbing new plates, and that's what I was doing during that time. So then I had multiple sources of income that were coming in, and then it wasn't very long at that point before I became a millionaire on paper, right? Clearly I had more than $1 million, and then getting to $2 and $3 million came very, very quickly. Because again, if you're making $600,000-$700,000, I think at one point I was making like $700,000-$800,000 of income per year, then it's going to be really quick. Now you're going to pay taxes on that, so half of that's going to get chopped away. But then I'm taking that money, I'm investing in real estate, and I'm buying bigger pieces of real estate where, let's say that I buy $1 million property, like I bought a $1.2 million property last year. Now, when that goes up 10% in value, okay, I'm making $120,000 right on that. So the returns on that become much, much greater. Plus, I'm making cash flow on that property, right? And so it creates this snowball effect, right? So yeah, so to answer the question, right? So where did the million come from? What percentages? It's really not possible to break it down into the percentages because those things kind of fed into each other, right? You have to have the money from somewhere in order to invest it in somewhere to make your returns. So long story short, okay, because this is what you're really getting at. Again, this is what you guys really want to know here is how can you then use this knowledge, okay, and become a millionaire? All right, I'll tell you. So the first thing that you need, all right, is you need a good source of income. So typically that's going to be a high paying job. If you're a software developer or a salesperson or a copywriter or something, a high paying job, that's going to help you a lot. If you're making very little money, if you're making like $40,000, $50,000 a year, okay, it's going to be really hard for you to do much because you can't take that money and you're not going to have much to invest, and you're not really going to be able to invest in real estate and leverage there. Okay, so if you're getting a high paying job, first of all, that's going to be good. So if you have a low paying job right now, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do 2 things. There's kind of 2 roads you can take. One is to just invest all the free time that you have in learning and improving your skills to be able to get a high paying job. Go to a coding bootcamp. Go learn how to code or something like that. I've got another channel, Simple Programmer channel. Go subscribe to that channel and learn the soft skills type of stuff. Read my book. Read my Complete Software Developer Career Guide book. Get this, okay? This will help you a lot, all right? Even if you're not a software developer, this is like, you can just read this as career guide, like become fucking good at making money in your job. All right. So that's one path, is to do that and then take the money that you're making and invest that in real estate, okay? And long-term real estate holdings, okay? I'm not going to go into the details here. Again, if you want some of the more details of that, sign up in the cards. I mean, if you can't pay $7 to try out a membership, in fact, if you can't, forget the $7, okay? That's just, it's silly. I should even stop offering that. If you can't pay $29 a month to fucking improve your life, I can't help you. None of this. Turn off the video, because what the fuck are we doing here? The first thing I'm going to tell you is to invest in yourself. So if you're not going to invest in yourself, it's not going to fucking matter. So just turn off the video. So it's a waste of time. But anyway, start there at the Bulldog Mindset membership. Like I said, there's a link here. You can sign up there, and I give you advice on how to invest in real estate and exactly how to go through that process. All right, but we're going to leave that for now, and we're going to go down the second path that you can do. The second path, and you can combine these paths, and you're going to need to eventually do this anyway, is you need really a really big source of income. Again, MJ talks about this in Millionaire Fastlane. Okay, read this book. All right, go get the audio version. All right. And he talks about the idea of like building a business, because you really do need to build a business. Because, okay, look at my income report, right? We can look at, again, we'll put a link to this video from last month, right? I made what, like $74,000 last month. Okay, and you can look at the breakdown. You can see where the money comes from. There's about, what, $12,000 of passive income that comes from real estate. Okay, my simple programmer business generates like, I don't know what, like 20 something $1,000. Okay, and Bulldog Mindset generated the rest, like 30, 40, like $50,000. Okay, it depends on the month. All right, so that's a lot of money that's coming in, and a lot of that is, quote, passive. I don't consider it to be truly passive unless it's coming from the real estate, but you can see how a business is really something that's going to make you a lot of money. It's also going to give you some freedom. So you want to start a business, start a side business. Again, I talk about all this and how to do it the way that I've done it, show you everything I know in the Bulldog Mindset membership. I also talk about it on this channel. You can go and find all the pieces on the channel if you want. If you don't want to pay, a monthly fee to get it hand delivered to you and to have like the ability to ask questions, it's cool. I get it. I mean, you'll eventually figure shit out, but hopefully you'll figure out that the fastest way to learn shit is to learn it from someone. But whatever. But anyway, so that's it. Okay, so that's the basic formula, and then you're going to take that money that you're making from the business, and again, you're investing that in real estate, so you can get to that point of what I call the well that never runs dry. Again, another concept I talk about in the membership about how to become wealthy. But you're going to become a millionaire by doing that. Okay, and it may take some time. All right, this might be like a 10 or 15 year type of ordeal, but I guarantee you, any one of you, it doesn't matter what, if you follow this advice, okay, if you go and you train yourself, invest your money right now to get up to the point of having a high paying job, okay, and you take the money that you're making from that high paying job and you invest it in real estate, and while you're doing that, you start building a side business, and you give it 5 years, right, my magic number of 5 years, in order for it to become successful and start making some serious money. Okay, what's going to happen? Well, over 15 years, I pretty much guarantee you that you will be able to become at least a millionaire, probably a multi-millionaire, and so on. Okay, because it's that easy as long as you're willing to, and it could be sooner, right? It took me less than 5 years to become a millionaire, honestly. I did the real estate investment for a long time before then, but really when you look at like where did it accelerate and where did the money really come from, it came within pretty much a 5 year period. The work that I did in the 5 year period is what resulted in catapulting into millionaire and then multi-millionaire status. Okay, and I'm still working. I'm still building businesses, and I hope to get to over $1 million a year of income, and then beyond that, and I know that I will, because that's the trend. As long as I continue to do that, because I'm constantly making more money from the business, and then I'm putting that more into real estate, and then I'm making more money from the real estate. Right? It's a snowball effect. So go out and do it.